DPS TeleClass.
قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي.
Student, do you remember what we have learned in our class? Yes, we have been learning about living things. Do you remember what you have learned about living things in our classroom? So, I'm going to ask you some riddles to check whether you know the answers about the living things or not. Okay, student, here is the first riddle for you. I am a living thing. I do not eat food, but I do enjoy a light meal every day. I can make my own food. All the other living organisms depend on me very much. Who am I? Can you guess the answer? The answer is plant. Have you guessed it correctly? Okay, so let's see the second one. So here is the second one. I have a big family. Each of the members in my family has different characteristics. Some of the members are covered with feathers, some has horns, some can fly, and others can run and swim. Who am I? Can you guess the answer? The answer is animals. So let's see the third one. Here is the last riddle for you. I am a tiny living thing which gets energy by absorbing nutrients from dead and decayed matter. Who am I? Can you guess? The answer is fungi. I hope you have guessed all three answers correctly. Okay, student. So now I'm going to share you today's learning intention and success criteria. Our learning intention for today's lesson is we are going to learn about classification of living things. And the success criteria for today's lesson is you will be successful in this lesson if you can classify the given living things into the correct group and write any two special characteristics of the given living things. So these are the things that you need to achieve to be successful in this lesson. Students, we have already learned about diversity of living things, right? Do you remember the meaning of diversity? Diversity means the variety of living things present on a particular region. Do you remember why diversity of living things are important? The presence of diversity of life forms which are dependent on each other is very crucial for maintaining and balancing the environment. And we should appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gifting us such a diverse world. The living things can be classified into three main groups. Do you remember what are they? Yes, you are right. They are plants, animals, and fungi. These are the three main groups that living things are classified into. Okay, student. So now I am going to share you some characteristics of living things. Living things have movements. Living things grow and they respond to the environment. Another characteristic of living things is reproduction. Living things can breathe or respirate. And the last characteristic of living thing is excretion. Students, now I am going to explain you about classification of living things. Living things can be classified into different groups, and members of each group share common characteristics like appearance, movement, nutrition, respiration, excretion, reproduction. According to these, here are some examples of classification of living things. As we all know, all fishes live and swim in the water. Most of the birds fly in the air, have beaks, and do not have teeth. Some animals, such as snakes and birds, lay eggs, while others give birth to young ones. All mammals give birth to young ones. These are some examples of classification of living things. Students, do you know that animals are classified into two main groups? Do you know what are they? Vertebrates and invertebrates are two main groups that animals are classified into. Do you know the differences between vertebrates and invertebrates? Let's see the differences between vertebrates and invertebrates. So let's see what are vertebrates. Vertebrates have hard bony skeleton inside their body. This gives them support and protect the delicate organs. All vertebrates have backbone made up of lots of little bones. So here are some examples of vertebrates. You can see that 5 different pictures from the slide. Zebra, parrot, turtle, alligator, fish. These are some examples of vertebrates. Students, do you know that vertebrates are classified into 5 main groups? Do you know what are they? They are mammals, amphibians, reptiles, fish, and birds. Students, now I am going to share you the characteristics of these 5 groups. First, I am going to share you the characteristics of amphibians. Amphibians are cold-blooded animals. Do you know the meaning of cold-blooded? It means they do not have a fixed body temperature. They take the temperature of their environment. Amphibians have moist scaleless skin, and they live on water and land. They lay eggs. Let's see the characteristics of mammals. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. The word warm-blooded means they have a fixed body temperature. And all the mammals have backbones and four limbs. They have fur or hair on their body, and they all produce milk to feed their young one. And they live in all types of environments. They live on water and land. Now let's see the characteristics of reptiles. Reptiles have scales on their body. They breathe through lungs. Reptiles have 4 legs, and they are also cold-blooded animals, and reptiles lay eggs. These are the characteristics of reptiles. Now I am going to share you the characteristics of fish. All the fishes are cold-blooded animals, and we all know that the fishes live in the water. The fishes use gills to breathe, and they have a swim bladder. They use their fins for movements, and they lay eggs. Characteristics of birds include they have feathers, they have wings, but all the birds do not fly. Some birds fly and others can't fly. The birds also lay eggs, and they have a beak. They have skeleton. These are some characteristics of birds. Student, now it's your activity time. Let's do this activity with me. What we are going to do is we are going to classify the given vertebrates into the correct groups. I have already shared you the characteristics of the vertebrates. You are going to use those characteristics to classify these animals into the correct groups. So here are the pictures of the animals, and we are going to classify them into different groups. So what is in the first picture? That is a zebra, right? Which group does a zebra belongs to? It is a mammal. Do you know why the zebra is known as a mammal? It gives birth to the young one, so it is a mammal. And in the second picture, it is a parrot. Which group does the parrot belongs to? Birds. Why parrot belongs to bird groups? Because parrot has a beak, and they have wings, and they can fly. In the third picture, we can see a crocodile. What do you think? Which group does the crocodile belongs to? It is a reptile, because the crocodile has scale on their body. In the next picture, we can see a fish, right? So this fish belongs to the group fish. They have fins, and they can swim in the water. What is in the next picture? A whale shark, right? What do you think? Which group does the whale shark belongs to? Is it a fish or a mammal? The whale shark belongs to mammal group. Do you know why? Because the whale shark gives birth to the young one and feed the young one. So whale shark is known as a mammal. In the next picture, we can see a snake. Which group does the snake belongs to? Is it a reptile or a mammal? Snake is reptile because it has scale on their body and also lay eggs. It does not give birth to the young one, so it is not a mammal. It lays eggs, so it is a reptile. And in the next picture, it shows a frog. What do you think? Which group does the frog belongs to? It has a moist skin, so it is an amphibian. And here is the last picture. In the last picture, it shows a bat. Which group does the bat belongs to? Whether it lay eggs or give birth. It gives birth to the young one, so it is a mammal. So I hope that now you will be able to classify the animals into the correct groups according to the characteristics they have. Student, now I am going to show you some examples of amphibians. From this slide you can see the amphibians. These are some of the amphibians. The first one is frog. Toad, newt, and salamander are some examples of amphibians. All these animals live on water and land both, and they lay eggs and they have a moist scaleless skin. So these are some examples of amphibians. From this slide, you can see some examples of mammals. Some examples of mammals are kangaroo, dolphin, whale, bat, and bear. These are some examples of mammals. All these animals give birth to their young ones and they have hair or fur on their body and they feed milk to the young ones and they can live in any environment. So these are some examples and there are lots of mammals. From this slide you can see some examples of reptiles. Crocodile, turtle, snake, and lizards are some examples of reptiles. All these animals have scale on their body and they lay eggs and they are cold-blooded animals. So these are some examples of reptiles. Now I am going to show you some examples of fish. There are different types of fish in the water, in the ocean. Here are some examples like tuna, goldfish, flatfish, and shark. These are some examples of fish, and all the fishes have fins and they have a swim bladder and they swim in the water. They breathe through their gills. From this slide you can see some examples of birds. Some examples of birds are parrot, hummingbird, penguin, and hen. From these examples you can see that parrot and hummingbirds can fly, but penguin can't fly. All these birds lay eggs, they have a beak and they have wings, but all the birds cannot fly. Student, now let's see what are invertebrates. Invertebrates come in all shapes and sizes, and most of the invertebrates have soft bodies, and other invertebrates have cells inside or outside their bodies. Invertebrates do not have a bony skeleton with backbone. So the main difference between vertebrates and invertebrates are vertebrates have backbone and invertebrates do not have the backbones. So can you tell me some examples of invertebrates? So let's see some examples of invertebrates. From this slide, you can see some examples of invertebrates such as butterfly, ant, starfish, octopus, snail, and spiders are some examples of invertebrates. Student, do you know that all the insects and spiders are invertebrates? And insects are the largest group in animal kingdom. There are more than 1 million species on Earth. And some insects can fly and others can crawl. So all the insects are invertebrates. They have a soft body or a cell inside or outside their body. Now let's do another activity with me. In this activity, we are going to explore about the characteristics of some living things. I am going to show you some pictures of living things. You are going to tell me what is the name of the living thing, whether it is a vertebrate or invertebrate, which group does it belongs to, and we are going to learn some special characteristics of those living things. So here is the first picture. What does the picture shows? It is a bear, right? So can you tell me whether the bear is a vertebrate or invertebrate? Bear is a vertebrate. Why it is a vertebrate? Because it has backbone, right? Okay, now tell me whether this vertebrate belongs to which group? Is it a mammal or a reptile? Does the bear lay eggs or give birth to the young one? The bear gives birth to the young one, so it is a mammal. Now let's see some characteristics of bear. The bear has fur on their body and it gives birth to the young one. So these are some special characteristics of bear. Let's see another example. From this picture we can see a spider, right? Now tell me whether the spider is vertebrate or invertebrate. It is invertebrate, right? Which group does it belongs to? It is an insect. Why spider is known as invertebrate? Can you tell me? Because spiders have soft bodies, so they are known as invertebrates. They do not have backbones. Now let's see some special characteristics of spider. Spiders have 8 legs and their web. So these are some special characteristics of spiders. Here is the last picture for this activity. What does this picture show? A hen, right? Now tell me whether the hen is a vertebrate or invertebrate. It is a vertebrate, right? Which group does the hen belongs to? It is a bird. Hen belongs to bird group. Now let's see some special characteristics of hen. Can you tell any? The hen have beaks and wings, and the hen lay eggs. Can the hen fly? It can't fly high, right? So the hen has beak and wings and it lays eggs. So these are some special characteristics of hen. Now I'm going to explain you today's task for you. What you are going to do is you are going to classify the given living things and complete the table. Here I have given 7 different living things, and you are going to classify them into vertebrates and invertebrates, and also you are going to write 2 characteristics for each of the living thing, and you are going to identify which group does it belongs to. Let me tell you an example. The first one is cat. Cat is a vertebrate or invertebrate? It is a vertebrate, right? So you will write vertebrate in the first column, and in the second column you are going to write any 2 characteristics of cat, like it gives birth to the young one, it has fur on their body, and it feed milk to the young one, like that. You can write any 2 special characteristics of cat, and in the last column you are going to write which group does it belongs to. The cat gives birth to the young one, so it is a mammal. So you are going to write mammal in the last column. Like that, you are going to complete this task. You are going to do this task in your thematic notebook. After completing the task, take a clear picture of the task and send it to your class teacher. I hope you have understood today's task, and I hope you all will complete the task on time and send it to your class teachers. Students, now we have learned lots of things about living things, right? So before concluding our lesson, let's recall what we have learned in today's lesson. So now it is a quiz time. You are going to say whether the statement is true or false. So are you all ready? So here is the first one. Animals can make their own food. Is it a true statement or a false statement? What do you think? It is a false statement, right? Because animals can't make their own food. They get food from other living organisms, such as they eat plant or they eat other living animals. So here is the second one. Birds are vertebrates. What do you think? Is it correct or wrong? That is a correct sentence. So it is a true. Third one. Living things are classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. Is it true or false? What is your answer? True, right? Here is the fourth one. Invertebrates have soft bodies. That is also a true statement, right? Invertebrates have soft bodies. Fifth one. Reptiles give birth to young ones. Is it correct? No, right? Reptiles lay eggs. So this is a false statement. Sixth one. Insects are vertebrates. Is it? No, right? Insects are invertebrates. So this one is also a false statement. Let's see the seventh one. Mammals are cold-blooded. Do you remember the meaning of cold-blooded? The word cold-blooded means it do not have a fixed body temperature. Does the mammal does not have a fixed body temperature? It do have, right? So that is also a false statement. Here is the last one. Whale shark is a mammal. Is it true or false? That is a true statement, right? So I hope you all have learned lots of things regarding living things from today's lesson. Student, let's see our success criteria before concluding our lesson and see whether we have achieved the success criteria or not. Our success criteria is to classify the living things into the correct group and write any two special characteristics of the given living things. I hope you all have achieved today's success criteria. Student, now it's the time to conclude today's lesson. I hope you have learned lots of things about living things. Don't forget to complete the task I have given to you. You have to complete the task in your thematic notebook and take a clear picture of your activity and send it to your class teacher. I hope you all will complete the task on time and send it to your class teacher. Have a good day. Thank you.
DPS TeleClass